96 inside Gospel and Soul for Rebirth, where redemption eventually brings into reality total healing. That is Rebirth on Fit FM 96.7 Gospel and Soul. Your life, your music.
Restoration Ministries presents Talk with Rev, with host Rev Rowan Dunn, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. You can also join us on YouTube, Facebook at Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music. I was lost, but now I'm found, was bound, but now I'm free.
Set this up, we mean this. Yeah, so you come get your tablets. And all when you left and you have to come back. And me know you have to play one of them your laptop. Best of business, a serious business. We sell all electrical appliances. And all of your car accessories. Come a bed stop, you know no problem.
Best Apps Technology, Shop 25, Champion Plaza, Fama, Trelawney. Telephone 876-394-5484. Best Apps, we only deliver the best.
So here I am, the controversial Ed Wallace. I'm on Community Buzz every Monday afternoon from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. Call me. Our number is 876-482-4944. Let us discuss topics affecting your community, education, health, community development, infrastructure, and anything else. Remember, Community Buzz, Mondays 3 to 6 on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Under the pressures of a life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up.
Talking about love this afternoon. Julia, starting good, no show? Starting good. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Buzz, Community Buzz on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. That is what we're doing this afternoon. This afternoon, we have a whole range of issues as usual that we could talk about. But guess what? This evening, the talk is going to depend on you. Help me out, please. Let us interact because we're not going to have a guest coming on this afternoon, but we can be our own guests. So talk to us. Call us at 876-482-4944. I will certainly do my best to guide the discussions. Anything you have to say, you can say it freely, as long as it is not derogatory, as long as it is for airplay, we can all talk. 876-482-4944, 876-317-1991. Right? And Facebookers, we're there already. I mean, we have quite a few Facebookers already. Dr. Ash, I have a writ against you. With that toxic situation there, still don't feel good to me. Yeah. But good afternoon and welcome to the show. Good afternoon and welcome to the show. Love you, love you, love you, same way. All right, so we are on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just check us out, man. We're there. All right. And then fitfmja.com. That's where you get perfect sound. This is perfect sound, but that is perfect sound. So you can check us out at fitfmja.com. All right. And we're on all the radio apps. If you think about a radio app, just go there. We're there. All right. So we're going to begin with the birthdays. Maxine Miller Wallace is celebrating her birthday day after tomorrow. And I want to wish her all the best. Is a woman who I'm very thankful to and for, because she is the mother of my son, S-U-N, son, yeah. And I just want to wish her a happy birthday, and that she has all of God's richest blessings, and that all the things that she hoped for will come true. Anniversaries. Oh.
Jillian's birthday was yesterday.
Jillian? Yes. Happy birthday, Jillian. Happy birthday. God's richest blessings to you. As a Queen G, you're big up there. As a first string member of the Fit FM family, we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday, a very happy birth month. Why are you laughing at me now, Joe? No, man, there's a reason why you're laughing, Jillian just wants her bone. That's all she wants. Anyhow, so, but Jillian, God's richest blessings to you as you go into another year. At this point in time, I can also say Happy New Year to you. God's richest blessings, and may all the things that you hope for, all the things that you work for, He will just put His hand on it and allow it to come through for you. All right. So happy birthday from your Fit FM family. And as a matter of fact, happy birthday from Ed Wallace. All right. Again, God bless you. You have any more birthday that you recall, Joel? All right. So anniversaries. Now, we don't have any anniversary, but we're celebrating Fit FM anniversary throughout the year. Again, we hope that everything we put our hands to, God will bless. When we started this month, I didn't recall that I needed to, well, not needed to, but I didn't recall actually recognizing this month as Child's Month, and we're coming to the end of it. So it carried Mother's Day with it. I think it's Family Month too, Yeah, I think it's Family Month too. And Teacher's Day fell within the month too. Yeah. So let me just recognize all of those persons who celebrate and mark these days as significant. With a focus on Child Month, though, I don't think that we've been doing so well recently. We have too many cases of child abuse, child molestation, and all that kind of thing. And so, we just need to get our act together. What is happening to us is bad. It is also hypertensive week, I think. Yeah. And high blood pressure is a silent killer, they say. So I don't know. We must just have to try our best. Even if we're not seeing a doctor, try our best to stay within the rules that would keep us healthy. Just try our best. I don't know what to tell you because I'm not a doctor. At some point in time, we may have, I don't know, on one of our morning programs where we have doctor coming in, we may have something coming out on hypertension. But let us stay cognizant of that silent killer because it's bad. And a lot of us in Jamaica suffer from these two main lifestyle diseases, high blood pressure and blood sugar problems. So we must be keen on it. Last, people who passed in the past week. Beth King, I want to just extend a Fit FM sentiment of condolence to you and your family for the loss of your brother. I know you drove down to Texas from New York to go see him before he passed. And one of the good things is that you were able to make it. I know your family is in mourning, and we pray God's comfort to you, and that you as a family will be able to weather this storm and cherish his memory while you try to get back to your new normal without him. All right. Councillor McCormack in Portmore. When I was in Portmore, Councillor McCormack came on the scene when the first increase in the toll price came around, and she went out there and started demonstrating about the increase in the toll fees and all of that. I remember her specifically for that. And after that, she became very active in the Portmore community with respect to, and I'm sure she was active before that. I just didn't know about her. But then as I watched her progress, she became active member in the Joint Portmore Citizens Association. And after that, she eventually became councillor for the Waterford Division, if my memory serves me right. I want to just express a Fit FM sentiment of condolence to her family for the loss. As I understand it from the news article, she may have been suffering a bit, and God knows best when he called her home. So we want to just ask you to stay strong, and we pray that the Holy Comforter will come to tarry with you for the time that you will need. Yeah. So, I've always promised, and last week I forgot, but I promised you that I'll never forget Andrea Garwood on this program. So we just want to raise that and to speak to not just to the loss, but perhaps one of our most painful moments with respect to the murder rate and crime in Jamaica. And that just marked, at least for this side of Trelawney, just marked a really big change in the game of crime. And it's not a game, it's a serious situation of crime, violence, and murder in our communities, both in Trelawney, across Jamaica, and across the world. All the victims of crimes and all the family of the victims of murder over the past week, the family of the hotel worker up in Trelawney, the family of the lady in Clarkstown, and incidentally, Joel, I heard about another lady in Upper Trelawney who was also murdered about last Thursday or Friday, because I saw it on loop. All right. And I'm going to have more to say about that, because there's some 13-year-old kind of a situation embedded in that. And I still don't know if we're getting the narrative correct. We're not separating the issues, we're conflating them, and we need to deal with them. You see, in life, Joel, if we have a problem and we don't ask the right questions, the solution is not going to come proper. You understand? We'll get answers, but the answers that we're going to get is not going to be likely to be applicable to the solve of the real problem that we have. And some of the times we attempt, like a painkiller, to treat the symptom without touching the disease any at all. So I'll have a little bit more to say on that one. While life is good for some of us, if not most of us, while some of us are thankful in everything, we give thanks to God. While that is happening, we still have to look at our brothers and sisters. You remember those weird questions, Kin, where is your brother? Some of the times we just have to ask that question. The other day, while talking to Dr. Asha, we were trying to prepare, we were trying to consult on preparation for 2 hour shows because I had some recommendations for her. So we were discussing it. After we finished the discussion, she said to me, Ed, I am happy that we're talking this morning because I have a situation here where there is a parent and a student in need of credit for schooling, online schooling. At the time, I couldn't help. Still can't help right now. But that shows some of the desperation that is happening out there when we ask, where is your brother? Yesterday, no, a really heartfelt one came to me. When a man, a Jamaican man, a Rasta man too, rode up to my fence. I was somewhere close to my fence. I had just finished eating dinner because I went to my sister, asked my sister for dinner, and she fed me yesterday afternoon for the Sunday dinner. Nice dinner too. And after I have my nice dinner given to me by my sister, here comes this man to my fence, wash out plate, everything already put on. And a Rasta man on his bicycle rode up to me. Well, he rode past my gate, my fence where he could see me, then turned back. And he said to me, Bossy, you can't give me a thing for get some fish or something for some meat for cook with what I have, for put what I have and cook for my father and me youth them. Julia, I couldn't help the man. My heart sank. I felt it. Because ordinarily, you would have heard a man a beg a thing for himself or for him and him picking them, but now this is extended to his father. And it just really reached me away. And I'm sorry that was not one of the days when I just finished my chickens where I could just go in the fridge and pull out a half a chicken or something like that and give him. But the struggle is real. The struggle is real. And I was on Facebook and I see a discussion with a Dr. Michael, I don't even, Michael, what his name again, I don't remember right now, over the male and female anatomy, and how people perceive them and how people are hypocritical. It was objectifying men, but objectifying female, but not. And I'm saying, what a wonderful discussion to have. Mr. Seaga once said, you can tell the level of comfort that a group of people have based on the complaints that they're having. You know, I'm paraphrasing. But I just said to myself when I look back at the man asking for food for his family, wouldn't it be lovely if that is a problem he and I had? Wouldn't it be good if what we were discussing, what he stopped to discuss, was, oh, people now wear good clothes and now wear, modest clothes and thing. But we're down to it, my fellow people, my fellow Jamaicans. We're taking our time, and especially with this drought, sinking into a food crisis, believe it or not. There are people out there who don't have anything to eat. It was only a few weeks before that I saw a situation. I was in the vehicle. The person was driving me. And his girlfriend called. And on the menu, the girlfriend called about food, and the menu was dumpling and butter. Ain't a pretty. Ain't a pretty none at all. And more people are falling in this trap. And let me show you what is happening. As we fall in this trap with lack, not having, as we fall into this trap, not many, male especially, are going to keep begging. I don't even know if that man who stopped by me is going to keep begging. At some stage, once his pride has left him in relation to begging for his father and his children, once his pride has left him to come down to that, I do not believe that all persons in that kind of situation are going to see their people suffer, their children suffer, their parents suffer without trying a thing. And I'm sure you know what I mean by trying a thing. Crime going to go up. Petty crime going to go up. Shop breaking going to go up. House breaking going to go up. Because the thing not set right. It's not set good. I don't know why it's not set good, but it just not set good. The question now is, what can we do about that? I don't know. I went into a shop today. Big up Biggs. Mr. Biggs in a Martha Bray in your supermarket. There's a big up. Mr. Biggs was telling me, boy, I may tell you, Mr. Wallace. He calls me Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace. Food prices, bad enough, man. Actually, when I went in there to buy, I didn't know the price for what I was buying had gone up so much. Almost a 20% increase. And he was telling me that the prices, them not, I forgot saying, Mr. Wallace, a greedy man, greedy. This is a shopkeeper. He's supposed to be a capitalist. Selling myself for my money. But his argument was that food prices not half so bad. A greedy, some people greedy. I went through the whole talk about inflation and how inflation come about and rate it, but he insisted. And at the root of the argument, he was correct, agreed. A lot of it is greed. But there are other things happening also in the economy, not just this one, but all over the world, that would cause food prices to increase, but the root of it still comes down to greed. So if the man who import flour, import it at $10 per pound, him cannot sell it for $8. Can't sell it for $8. $10 him get it for, plus him have to eat too. So him want make perhaps a $2 on it. Yeah? But then there are those who want the $15 and the $20 for the same pound of flour, making it greed. The situation is tough, but I'm saying to you, my fellow Jamaicans, hold strain, try your best. And next week, I'm not going to bring food for you to eat. God willing, I come to this program. I'm not going to bring food for you to eat. But I'm trying to bring another set of food for you. Because at the same time as we operate, we need to know how to spend the money what we have. We need to begin to value the resources that we have. And so I'm going to call on all my resources around me to see if we can gather some information. I'm calling that segment home and community economics. Yeah? We're going to talk about things like affordability. What can you afford or not afford? And explain to you in a nitty-gritty what it means to not be able to afford. You know, all them kind of things there. So I'm hoping that I'll get approval when I'm done, because this has just been conceptualized in my mind. As soon as I talk to my producer and boss to see whether or not we get the go ahead, and we're going to run in the community buzz some information in that regard, because we have to know how to weather the storm that we're in. and the storm that is about to hit. Yeah. So that was my Sunday dinner talk. I want to take us to minutes now. What we talked about last week. Last week we spoke about road and yeah. Yeah. Remember, I asked you that we want to have a little discussion. And I'm just talk about the toughness of the times, Can't talk about it too, I might sooner or later I might start begging on some food too. I'm gonna send on a box and see if we can find some people who really, really need it and distribute it too, because things tough and we have to share. I tell you something. The thing about capitalism is that he who is strong and in a strong position and can work for make money, and him always want to make more money. But when he make the money, you have to realize sometimes that him need for share. It's a good thing to share. It's a good thing to share. One of my, what should I say? One of the persons I followed when I was coming up is Mutty Perkins, and he used to give the example of the mango tree. If you have the one mango tree in the district with all of the mango them upon it, and you won't give it none, somebody someday go and try to take some. And it might not end nice. So if you one can't eat off the whole of the mango, if you one can't sell off the whole of the mango, no make it spoil. Share it. Share it. Now on the other hand, you have the communist approach to economics, where you have everybody put in and share, put in at their best and share equally. Not proportionally, no, equally. So you want to know. As a matter of fact, capitalism is proportional sharing. The economic, what should I say, theory behind that is, you make your thing, use your creativity, and you make your money. You get to keep it. The communist or socialist approach, and when I say communist or socialist approach, I'm not talking politics, no. I'm talking about more an economic model, is that everybody inputs into the big pot, and then when the pot is cooked, everybody get out equal share. The thing with that is that when two people are getting the same, but one values his or her input over the other, somehow the ball going to stop rolling, because what? He who believes that he put in more and should get more is going to say, if I'm getting the same thing, it don't make sense. Might as well just put in like the others. And the pot going to just dwindle down. So really and truly, the two situations depend on the good heart of man. And that is hard to find nowadays, it seems. That is very hard to find nowadays. But we're going to share. Some way, somehow, we're going to find a way for share. Because if we don't share, the option, the alternative, is not necessarily good. Not very good at all. All right, so we dealt with road, water, and light for refuge for Stuart Castle last week. We're still on it. We're still asking the authorities to come in and to help us out with the road, water, the light. In Stuart Castle, the road is horrible. I don't know if Councillor White hearing me. The road is horrible. And I don't know. I don't say it thinking that you have the money put down to come and do the road. I'm just notifying you that this road is terrible. As I understand it, in refuge, pretty much the same thing. The street lights, with what is happening now, particularly with women, a man don't get raped as often as a woman. And when you have that kind of a situation probable, then you want to give the best we can give for the survival of our people. And so that, people who can be robbed in the dark or raped in the dark or be taken advantage of in the dark would prefer to see some light. So we're begging some street light for refuge. So we're begging some street light for Stuart Castle. And anywhere else, the street light can go. I think about 2 weeks ago, if not last week, JPS announced that them put up street light, and by the time them put up a street light, people thief them. Come on, man. Come on. And I don't know, Bugo Yaga thief like them. I don't know, liquor small man thief like them. And you might not have to climb the pole to thief it, but you encourage the man who can climb the pole to go thief the light them for carry on gear. So are you thief too? Yeah? Because if you may even thief it and can sell you, and in a possession of stolen goods, say, once the light your value $25,000, and he must sell you for $5,000, you're just as thief as him. You need to call the police. Something wrong with that price there. You need to know where and get it from. So we need to know what we're doing, because the wheel that just turns, we energize it. At some stage, we energize it. At some stage, prostitution not go on without a man wanting to purchase. We at some stage initiate and energize the things that we don't want to see happening. So we need to be careful and look into ourselves. All right, so road, water, light. Crime, we'll talk about crime too. Talk about crime. We're going to do some more discussion about crime. Remember, all of these issues, you can give me a call, 876-482-4944, 876-317-1991. Give me a call, text me, WhatsApp me, even commenting on Facebook. That can work too. All right, because no way, our hands are a little freer. We can read and deal with some of the things. All right. So we dealt with crime. Lambert Brown was in the news last week, and he's back in the news with Camilla Johnson Smith. And that one is it's not playing out good. I keep saying, Lambert, you can't win. You and AJ cannot win. It is time to shut up. When you put the politics in a situation like, by the way, can somebody call me and tell me what is flexi rape? I don't know one name, so. Producer, you know one name, flexi rape? But the fact of the matter is that once you say rape, the idea is not good, not true? It can't be good once you include rape, not true? It can't be good. There's no way that can be good. Yeah? So, Lambert and AJ, I say again. AJ Nicholson, former senator. Yeah. What's it, It's better on a stand down with this one, yeah? Leave it alone, because by the way, you're perhaps gone too deep in it already. Perhaps you're gone too far. But if your strategy is going to be blaming, shaming, and bullying the alleged victim, if that is going to be the strategy, it's not going to pan out good in the world that we live in today. You're going to have some solid proof. And this is not a case where you're innocent until proven guilty. Once the utterance has been made, it's guilty, and you have to prove yourself innocent. No, I know for a fact from situations that I've been involved in and watch, cost me too. Was very costly to me. Well, when a man thinking that he has the upper hand, and I'm not saying that this has happened. When a man thinking that he has the upper hand, make a play for a woman and make a play one time too many, the standard defense is, I was only joking. Stop it. Stop it. Whether or not that is true, that you were only joking, break out of the habit. We have to look, girls, we have to look, woman. Have to. Cannot not look on. But if you make an approach 2-3 times and she still say no, this is a 1970 where she play hard to get, and you can push and go and see away. Give some value to a woman's no. Put some premium pricing on a no. Once a woman say no, leave her alone. Once a woman says she don't like it, leave her alone. And I want to tell you, time down the line, men, us men, time going down the line, you know what we sometimes find? That woman who said no, when we look back, we're glad they said they will say no. When we look back, there are incidents in which we are happy that some women say no. So just put some premium, put some value on the no coming from a woman. There are many of us out there, many of us, I mean people. We can all people say every O of a tick a bush. There is somebody out there who will say yes. Somebody who you like. Because I know everybody who say yes, you go take either. So let us just put some premium value on particularly no in general and particularly a woman's no. I'm going to take a short break now and we come right back to you. Yeah.
Watch the places you walk in, mind the way you talk. Watch out for the vampire who will sneak up in the dark. Watch out for the big time people who claim say that them smart. They bring in the crack and the gun to come mash up the youth them heart. Later on red, when you hold a look down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Whoa, yeah. Turn around red. When you hold a stick down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Yeah. Watch it. The mark of the beast are coming and are sneaking under man feet. A revelation time, check the signs of the time. Get up from the heat. I just saw the youth, they let out the street and you know say things now go sweet. Man a hustle, man a shuffle, hungry belly, they are yard, can't find food to eat. Better run red, where they all a look down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Whoa, yeah. Better run red, where they all a look down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. It don't make no sense to tell the man them pull down the gun. Back and turn your back and let the life calm down. These are the time we should have some fun. Give thanks to Jack as the man soon come. It don't make no sense to tell the man them let the politics. Back and turn your back and let the man get tricked. Mama, let around red. When you all a look down on a TV, I hear an ex you dead. Whoa, yeah. Get around red. Watch the places you walk and mind the way you talk. Watch out for the vampire who will sneak up in the dark. Watch out for the big time crook who claim say that them smart. But I bring in the crack and the gun to come and shove the youth them hard. Better run red. When you all are not never that deep. And you're an ex you dead. Whoa.
Join the Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union with locations in Water Square, Falmouth, and Albertown for your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Let us and TCCU teach you how to reach your financial goals. That's your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Restoration Ministries presents Talk with Rev, with host Rev Rowan Dunn, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. You can also join us on YouTube, Facebook at Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was bound, but now I'm free.
Have you ever desired to experience rebirth in your body, mind, and soul? Then join me, your host, Pastor Chidale Smallwood, aka The Poetic Revolution, on Fit FM 96.7 every Tuesday evening at 6 inside Gospel and Soul for Rebirth, where redemption eventually brings into reality total healing. That is Rebirth on Fit FM 96.7 Gospel and Soul. Your life, your music.
Amazing. You make my life feel brand new.
Join us on Be Inspired with Shuggy Tosh and DJ Jai
on Feed FM 96.7
every Tuesday between 12 noon and 2 p.m. Jamaican time.
You can also tune in via www.facebook.com/FeedFM 96.7.
You can't afford to miss it. Keep on being inspired on Feed FM.
Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh. Excess love.
It's to our God. Every word of worship. With one accord. Every praise.
Tuesday mornings on Fit FM, it's all about worship and praise. Hey, join me, the Reverend Junior Rutti, on Fit FM 96.7, 8:30 a.m. through 10 a.m. for Praise Up Tuesday, your mid-morning experience. Come with me every Tuesday as we send up the praises to our God on this station, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Y'all got it now. Help us sing it every praise.
Hi there, I'm Julia Mika Benaya. Join me weekday evenings at 6 p.m. for Gospel and Soul, a program that gives you the very best in gospel music from Jamaica and around the world. That's Gospel and Soul, weekday evenings at 6 p.m. on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Yeah, we're back. I see Melcinda has joined us. Thank you, as usual, for joining us, Melcinda. On Facebook, that is. And you must tell your friends about it, you know. I'm sure that you're having a good time with our programming here at Fit FM. So share it with your friends, man, and let us see some of them come on from time to time. All right, so we dealt with how we approach the men I was speaking to, how we approach and how we deal with a woman's no. Just put some value to that no. Leave her alone when she said no. You can't, there's no way that you can want more than 3 no's. No, after 3 no's, it becomes harassment. Me personally, tell me 1 no, I'm gone. If you ain't like me and you're just playing hard to get, you're going to come to me later on and say, well, how comes you just gone, sir? But me not ask you no question again because you said no. You said no. All right. So it's, I know not many people can, not many men can do that, because once a girl look good, me just have to get her. And so, but stop a tree, no man, do stop a tree and be careful tree of what. Be very careful tree of what, because it can be tree touch up and feel up when the people them know when you touch them. Right? You know, I said this to some of my friends and they vexed with me one time, you know. Especially men who are already married. Some of them not married neither, them single, but them feel say them are the village rooster and they must go around and do everything. And when they come to the bar, them talk all sort of things about their explorations and conquests and all them kind of things there. And some of the women that they have taken advantage of, because some of we have little money and can support a little thing. Let me tell them something, you know, boss, you know, feel too good about yourself, you know. Find a wife and settle down, you feel too good about yourself, because enough of the time, a lot of us will never ever know how many times those women that we inveigle through our money or power, how many times them beard after we don't touch them. So we did a knock chest and a beat chest. We never know. We never know how many times they cry because them feel say them stay with we because they had to, not because they wanted to. Somebody got beat up with chest about we get this and we get done and Jackie and all them kind of thing there. Really and truly, if we ever know some of the times what Dan and Jackie thinking, we shame. We shame. So all the things that we're running down, I'm just saying be careful. Be careful. As I said that, before I move, last week I spoke about abolishing the Ministry of Gender Affairs in favor of a Ministry of Community and Family Affairs to deal with some of the issues that we're dealing with. Because some of the issues that we're dealing with, the root of the problem is in family and community. And domestic violence aside for the time being, a lot of the crime and violence that we deal with in Jamaican society today is born out of no respect or feeling disrespected or not getting enough respect. A man will quick to kill you because you're this. Within the domestic violence sphere, sometimes a disrespect too, but I call that a kind of a different kettle of fish. All right? So this Ministry of Family and Community would place some emphasis on helping us to deal with each other. And the justice system have a setup too, you know. You can't have to walk too far to get justice. To come from Wakefield to come to Falmouth to get justice. To come from Wakefield for God Duncan's go get justice. Really and truly, it better we just fight away hard and done and who win, who lose. As some people think about it. So we have to find a way to bring justice to the people. And so the Ministry of Community and Family, or Family and Community Affairs, will interact with the Ministry of Justice and Ministry of National Security to get some of them programs here in. We need to start a family month. We need to start focusing on family life. Last week, I said another couple of things. I said home wreckers must be punished. They must go to prison. They must pay a fine. They must do something. But we cannot continue to promote the Métis syndrome. We cannot continue to promote it. Home wreckers must pay a price. If people want to break up their relationships and form new relationships, fine. Of course, that is allowed. Right? But nobody must intervene into people's relationship. Not care about it to go. Give them a chance to try work it out. If them can't work it out and then decide to them done, and them agree to them done, that's it. Right? But when you start divert a man's attention from attending to his family, especially with finances too involved, something wrong with that. When you start divert a woman from her family with the care of her children and the care of her husband, something wrong with that, and it will cause death. If you read history and you remember Helen of Troy, you will remember exactly how the Trojan War started. So I don't know how this happened. Man a fight over woman, woman a fight over man. It is not new. If you read Greek mythology, you will find where goddesses would fight over certain people, and it would cause a whole lot of problem. It's not no. So if we can restrict ourselves by our own will, then we're going to have to institute as a part of our constitution a kind of a protection for the family. Homewreckers must not be encouraged. I also said last week that when we put in the legislation to prevent that kind of homewrecking, then I think also we should allow prostitution, free it up. So that when a man go court, especially I using man, when a man go court for a divorce, any woman who him there with on the side, if she does not declare herself a prostitute, then she's going to have to pay 1/3 of the divorce cost to the lady whose life she wrecked. If a man don't declare himself a prostitute, him is going to have to pay a fine to the aggrieved party coming out of the proceedings, divorce or not. Yeah, man. So you have to stand up in a court and say, I am a prostitute. Make everybody know. Now, once we start having some pro-family laws, I talk about how we distribute housing, and we must just start, our government need to start being pro-family in order to stem the tide of the kind of things that we're going through right now. We need to be pro-family. Yeah? So I spoke about that last week too. If you didn't hear the housing part, I'm still saying that newlyweds and, formalizing of relationship, some priority should be given to those people in the situation where we're planning to build so many houses now. So you're getting married, you get into a draw in NHT where you get first preference for buy a house, or you get some preferential treatment once you're forming a family. And there must be a way, an incentive attached to that that would keep you to your vows and keep you in your family. We have to be pro-family, or else we're not going away. Not going away. All right, so we spoke of that last week. We spoke of that last week. So I think I have a call already. That sounds good. Who are we talking to this afternoon? Who are we talking to this afternoon? Yeah, so I didn't even realize that I didn't have my headset ready, but yeah, we're good now. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Sir Ed.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Dr. Asha Mwenda. How are you?
I am well. God is good to me as always.
Awesome. I have been listening to your program. Interesting program, I might add. But that little section you're talking about how You want us to have legislations to cover cheating and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree and don't agree with you.
Say that again, Doc.
Reason being, I kind of understand why you're going that way, but I don't agree with the laws and regulations being put in place to take care of this
What?
situation.
Say that again, Doc, because I'm having
Reason,
a little problem hearing you.
okay, Ush. I'm saying I do not agree with us putting laws and
Yes,
regulations in to
Doc,
deal with
Doc, hold
cheating.
for a second.
Yes.
There's an issue that we're dealing with, but in the meantime, you're holding.
Okay, all right.
In the meantime, you're
All
holding.
right.
The truth of the matter is, Doc has agreed that, in a sense, that the Protection of Family Act that I'm proposing is a good act. Are you there now, Doc?
I'm hearing
Dr.
you.
Asher?
I am
we're still
hearing you.
having
Are
a
you
little
hearing
issue.
me?
So, Dr. Asher has called us. You're there now, Doc?
You want me to call you back?
No. Oh, okay.
You're not hearing me?
You're very low. That's the problem we're having right now. You're very low.
Oh, I don't know why.
Sounding a little better now. Yeah.
Sounding a little better?
Yes, I'm sounding like hearing you a little better now. All right. So Doc, you were saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I kind of agree that we need a Family Protection Act. But however, on the other hand, I don't believe we should have an act that dictates, because we have to be careful of too many laws dictating moral suasion and dictating how we should operate as human beings. Because if you are in a relationship and you have your wife, right, and you're having problems, no matter how much I like you, Ed, and I try a thing, if you don't open the door, I can't come in. So therefore, it's the person who is in the relationship that needs to protect his or her relationship. Because the woman on this side can try anything. I am married. Any man can look me. I know nothing. They can only be in a relationship with me if I open the door.
Doc, I hear you. What I'm saying, however, is that a marriage is actually a contract including an economic component. When you inveigle somebody to breach that contract, you're actually committing a fraud. So if the woman or the man goes outside of our relationship with some other person, remember now, if the two married persons cannot make it up, this is my idea now. If the two married person cannot make it up, all right, for one reason or another, once somebody else is in that relationship, not making it any easier for them to stay together, then that person should be disincentivized. So you can't just walk into somebody's marriage just because somebody looks sexy to you. That is to be discouraged, to give marriage a chance. And the fact of the matter too is that we have precedence rate. There are some states in the United States that do have laws against home wreckers. In fact, Fantasia, the singer, she won American Idol 1 year. She was actually taken to court and she have to beg, please, me never know, in order to get out of the lawsuit against her. Are you with me, Doc?
I hear all of that, Ed. But what I am saying, a marriage agreement is between three persons. The man, the woman, and God. So therefore, the person that is not in the relationship have no control over that agreement. I also stand with the belief that if you have you're in a relationship, until you have a divorce decree, a paper that says you're completely divorced, even if it's not working out, you're separate, it's not working out, then you're divorced before you should form another relationship.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
I don't believe in dating when you're separated and all of those things.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
While you know you can't buy.
That's the point I'm trying to make, because what you do, what the person involved in that dating while married thing is going on, is make it harder for the family to come back together, and there are children involved, and it's not just a relationship we're trying to protect, it's all that is involved in the relationship. We're not trying to protect the man or protect the woman. We're protecting the children. When marriages fail, there are times when the current from the pebble dropped in a still pond ripples out. We don't know how far it goes, we don't see how far it goes, but it could end up with children living lives of crime, children living lives of dysfunction. So the best we can protect our families, the better I believe we will do. And I agree with it. And I see what you're pointing out is some of the pitfalls. I don't know if there's anything else we want to say about that.
Yes, I'm waiting on you to finish. What I'm saying is this: the person who is responsible for protecting the marriage and everything that is around the marriage are the persons in the marriage. Your marriage cannot be broken up by someone on the outside unless you open the door for them to come in. And when we start to put laws in place for home wreckers and all of these people, we are taking away the full responsibility of couples to protect that which is dear to them. So therefore, if a man or a woman go outside of their marriage and cause someone else to come in, I believe the man or woman who break that circle is the one who should pay the most there. So therefore, if you're gonna charge anybody for finances or anything, that man or woman who break up the marriage should be the one who, if say for instance the wife is entitled to half, but she is the home wrecker, she lose everything or she lose half of her half because she is responsible for protecting the family. The person on the outside cannot walk into that house unless you open the door. When it comes to relationships, it's not like a house you can break in without people open the door. Relationships are protected by the people in it. And men can entice. And if we are going to say that because he enticed the man, that's why he did what he did, we're also going to open a door to say it's the same reason why rape happened. So we have to be careful of how we put laws in place that can create loopholes for abuse.
We always have to be careful. I won't deny that. We always have to be careful. But when we say that somebody outside of the marriage can't wreck the marriage, and a newlywed couple, the woman from a newlywed couple, goes to work in her low job, but she look good, now get no much money, and the boss says she look good, and promises her promotions, promises her additional cash, additional overtime, and all that kind of thing. You would say nobody can go into the relationship?
I didn't say nobody can't. I am saying nobody can unless you open the door for them to come in. Situation don't allow marriage breakdown. Moral positioning allow marriage to break down. Your own principles, your own decisions of how you live your life. That is what causes it. A lot of women who are desperately hungry and they would never cheat on their husband if they know their husband is cheating because of who they are.
I'm not going to insist on it because the truth of the matter is,
I understand where you're coming from, but we have to be careful of how we
the essence of my argument is that the government needs to do everything to help protect the family. So how it pans out,
yes,
my idea is not law. My idea is just an idea, so we get to start to brainstorming on it. So if there is little or no merit to my idea, so be it. But we need to begin to start to think about a national effort to protect the family. That's the point I want to make.
In a different aspect. There's merit to it because I understand where you're coming from.
Is there another issue you want to touch base on so we can talk? How about the decriminalization of prostitution?
Well, I long time agree that this prostitution should have been decriminalized. But I used to work with the HIV program, and I was chair for the HIV response for civil society. That was one of the platform I stand on. The challenge with that though, Ed, a lot of the women who are sex workers who are saying that we need for this to become law don't want nobody know they're doing it. So my story is, if you're ashamed of your job, how can I advocate for you to have a legal standing? Until
No,
you start doing a job, until you start doing a job that you want your daughter and your son to know you're doing, you cannot have a legal job. And that is some of the issues that stand between legalization of sex work. Because when you do the work among the people and those who are in the job, they're in the profession, and I call it a profession, it's one of the oldest professions, it's in the Bible. So when you think of this profession and you talk to some of the women in the comment and they say, no, sir, me don't want me pick them, no want me they do. How are you going to have a legal work that you don't want anybody to know you're doing? I understand some of them say it's like domestic work or whatever, but there's a lot of things to be ironed out. I understand the stigma sometimes make you don't want anybody to know, but I stand on the agreement that homosexuality should not be illegal. Not Lord, me gone for a different topic. That sex work should not be illegal.
what I'm saying though, Doc, is not there's a difference between the legalization of prostitution and the decriminalization of prostitution. And I only found out that there's a difference when we were contemplating ganja. Right? Decriminalization just means that you will not go to prison for it. At the level of considering it a profession or whatever, or a job, that's a different thing. You might have laws to govern that, but the decriminalization, that if two persons are involved in exchange for cash, it should not be a reason to go to jail. That is what I'm talking about.
I
Decriminalization,
understand
not
that it should not be a
legalization.
criminal act, and it should be legal. It should be legal for me to use my body how I want to. So it should not. I understand the decriminalization and I understand legalization. I am saying I should not have to say it is illegal to use my body to do what I want to do with it, as long as I'm not harming somebody else. I'm providing a service that people have to pay for, and if you're willing to pay my price, I don't see anything wrong with that because what I am using is mine.
Understand that position, and it's people will differ.
So I'm taking it a little
I just
further. I'm
happen to
taking it a
think
little
that
further than
there should be
decriminalization.
no
But people are
penalty
not are gonna
for
people gonna
such
take
an
it at different
exchange. I
levels.
just happen to believe that there should be
The
no
other
penalty
thing
for
that I
such an
want to talk
exchange.
about is
Where you're
when you were
developing a
talking about
profession,
how many people are
I don't
hungry.
know about that, because in the when you start talking about profession, now you start talking about taxes and all that kind of thing. And our
Yes.
civilization, our country, Jamaica and other countries, have been built on the backs of the women of our societies. Massa used to do what I feel like with the women. We come and take Massa place and start to say we should not be collecting taxes from our women from that kind of activity. And so the profession thing, I don't think I go that far. It's just that she does not go to prison if she decides to go that route. You know? So that is kind of my idea there. We have the
understand.
coincidence of agreement at some point, but there are some little deviations. I don't know. But we
Yes.
need to begin
I hear what you are
to be
saying.
smart.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about was that when you were talking about how many people are hungry and how we might have to start asking our family and friends to send the diaspora to send boxes that we can share. While you were talking, the story of the stone soup came into my mind.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever
Yes.
heard the story of the
As
stone
a matter of
soup.
fact, it's an old, but I want you to repeat it.
Right, let me hear it. What? Okay. Okay. The stone story is just about a community that things were bad like how things are bad now. But you had one family, one man who was worse than everybody else. And so he realized everybody was hungry, but he realized that if everybody come together, it would make a difference. And so he went to the square and put on his pot. This big pot. And when everybody asks him what he's cooking, it's a stone soup, so he put a stone in there. But as he stirs it and he tastes it, he said, it tastes good, but. So everybody wants to know what else the stone soup would want. And so he said, if I get 2 carrots, if I get 2 onion, if I get a little scallion, if I get a potato, if I get a piece of yam, and people start to bring the little that they have to put into the pot. And before long, a beautiful pot of soup was bubbling and it was ready. And the community people could come with their bowls and eat. So everybody ate. And that is where we need to get to, where all of us pull what we have that all of us can eat.
You see, that is always a beautiful story when I hear it. Here's what I'm going to say, though, Dr. Ash. People in the diaspora, you sometimes have sometimes have this habit of sending your barrel, and you start name out who and who, not forget your things.
Not true.
Who and who, you know, want to get none of your things them. If I say you go send your barrel, keep it. If I say you're going to send your barrel, keep it. Because what we're talking about right now is goodwill for everybody.
Yes.
And at the same time, and not only people in the diaspora we're speaking to in relation to giving. If you're a little better off and you're in the community like the rest of the people who are in the community with that stone soup, drop in your scallion and onion too. It will do something. It will do something. So we have to start to look out for each other. Socialism is not a thing to be imposed. Socialism is a thing that we should do freely out of our hearts. Frankly, it is also Christian, right?
Amen.
Not that earning your keeps is not Christian. Capitalism is not Christian. But when we're done earn our keeps, remember our brothers. Where is your brother?
Amen.
That God asked
Amen.
him. Where is your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? I think we should say yes to that question. I think we should.
Very good.
Yes.
I'll continue to listen.
All right. So, Dr. Ash,
and
if that be it, no other matter.
No, man. I will continue to listen.
Thank you so much for your input, and it was very, very valuable because now we see that a discussion can be started around protection of the family, around prostitution, and around sharing and caring. All right. Thanks once again for popping in. Always a value to have you.
Have a good evening. Blessed.
Yes. So I'm looking at my Facebook now, and time hot people falling asleep. I'm going to talk about that hot thing there in a second, Melcinda. All right. Good afternoon to you, Natanish. Natanish Hines is there with us. Carl Gilchrist, if you're still there, thanks for staying with us. So we're going to make a switch now. We're going to change the thing to deal with the issue of COVID-19. I don't know. Our numbers seem to be looking very good. Our numbers seem to be looking very good. Last week, this time, meaning last week, Monday, we had something like 23,234 active cases. 1 week later, we're looking at 22,000, a drop of about, what is that, about 400? 22,898. So the amount of active cases for this week has shown a decline. We have 77 new cases yesterday. 77 new cases yesterday and 3 deaths. But Saturday we had 17 deaths. All right, which just means that the critical cases are really, some of them are succumbing to their illness. From the 77 new cases that we discovered, the ministry is reporting that we did 1,291 tests. All right. Again, the percentage the percentage, what should I say? The percentage of people getting COVID as opposed from the amount tested is under 10% now. My friend Rodigi would tell us that you have to look at the long term and you have to look back and see. But the truth of the matter is that it has been trending down and it looks good. Now, just to throw some, do you remember when we started with this COVID thing? Some people were saying heat killed COVID. Melcinda, you know Melcinda. Heat killed COVID. And so when the summer comes in, the COVID virus is going to taper off, subside or something. I don't know. What are we looking at here in Jamaica? I don't know. Because if that is the case, then Trinidad should not be under lockdown now. And I don't know if you know it. Trinidad is under a state of emergency. Anyhow, back to the numbers. 77 new cases, 3 deaths. Total number of cases, we are now at 47,000. It is taking a very long time for us to reach 50,000, which is good. One time when we were in the 900, I thought we would have passed 50,000 long ago, but we're still under 50,000. Not that it's any milestone. We don't want to get there, but if we get there, the fact of the matter is that this is the number of cases that we've had over the past year and perhaps a month or two. All right. As I said, total persons tested for yesterday, total samples tested was 1,291. In hospital, we now have 149 COVID cases. So again, even that has fallen. So we're doing good. The question, though, is to open or not to open the economy. What are we going to do now? Because what brought this down seemed to have been the measures that our government has taken. Trinidad has been forced to take even more drastic measures by declaring a state of emergency because of their situation. And at the same time, we see India is discovering bodies, scores of bodies all over the place, which they suspect to be as a result of COVID. So the question now is, where do we go? And I'm doing all things COVID because Senator Sinclair from Montego Bay, Charles Sinclair, came out the other day, just recently, and he was concerned about what he saw as the double standard in the hotel sector with the wearing of masks, where the guests were not asked to wear a mask, and even the hotel workers were fearful of asking for the tourists to wear masks because you know, they didn't want to spoil the product or the benefit of the product. But otherwise, the senator was saying that all the other protocols were being followed, except for the wearing of mask. And if you don't have to wear a mask in the hotel, I tell you, say, Jamaica is a how come society. The senator is asking, how comes everybody else have to wear a mask? And I don't know what the explanation is going to be, but it's a good question. The explanation is perhaps that all the tourists who come here are fully vaccinated. I don't know. I'm not saying that that is the truth. But maybe there's an explanation for it, Senator. Other Jamaicans want to hear the answer to that question. But also to say that most Jamaicans seem to want to comply, outside of the hotel, seem to want to comply with the wearing of masks. It's just that they arrest now, the people arresting people for not wearing masks. That question, because, oh Lord, let me try to contextualize this again so I get it right. What the senator was arguing is that in the hotel, the guests are not wearing masks, not being asked to wear masks, and it's okay. On the streets in Jamaica, people are being prosecuted for not wearing masks. Therein lies his concern of a double standard. Why is it so? And any ordinary Jamaican observing this would ask the same question, I think. Why must a little man on the street, who no nobody, go face the magistrate for not wearing a mask? And the guests who come into the island can come and go as them please. And I'm sure that some of these guests take excursions too. So I wonder whether or not when them on the bus and all them kind of thing, that whether or not them wearing mask, when them reach them destination for their leisure, whether or not they're wearing mask and all that kind of thing. So it's not just in the hotel. The fact of the matter is, it would seem to me that our guests are not being asked to wear mask. So why are we taking to law or taking the law to the average citizen for not wearing mask? That requires some explanation. That requires some explanation. All right, so that's it for our COVID situation. That's it for our COVID situation. I don't know if any of you have any comment on that. So we're talking about giving me a call at 876. I'm about to take a break. 876-482-4944 or 876-317-1991. Talk to us now, any topic that we have dealt with so far. We have more to come, and we'll be right back. Just a few minutes.
Join the Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union with locations in Water Square, Falmouth, and Albertown for your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Let us and TCCU teach you how to reach your financial goals. That's your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
It's who I got. Every word of worship. With one accord. Every praise.
Tuesday mornings on Fit FM, it's all about worship and praise. Hey, join me, the Reverend Junior Rutty, on Fit FM 96.7, 8:30 a.m. through 10 a.m. for Praise Up Tuesday, your mid-morning experience. Come with me every Tuesday as we send up the praises to our God on this station, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Y'all got it now. Help us sing it. Every praise.
Are you struggling with loneliness? Feeling depressed? Are you searching for a purpose to live? Are you ready to tap into your inner greatness? Ready to soar to your full potential? Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
I see Melson and Dr. Asha having some exchanges there on Facebook. In the meantime, I want to welcome Omar Atkins. Yeah, I know you're watching. That's a good thing. I hope you'll come back to the show. And not only that, I hope you will participate. And in case you didn't know, Omar, our numbers, we have two numbers that you can WhatsApp, you can text, you can call, you can WhatsApp call, all that kind of thing. And the numbers are 876-482-4944, 876-482-4944, and then you have 876-317-1991. 876-317-1991, and we can talk. All right, so in the news, other things in the news last week. The one fire truck what Falmouth have, Trelawney have, burn up a bush the other day. Scorched, burnt. Now, I don't know how it happened. I'd love to know how it happened. I hear the fire truck while fighting a bushfire up near Long Pond, ran out of water and at some stage caught fire. I don't know how that works. The surprising thing to me as a safety professional, safety and occupational profession, the surprising thing to me is that in the article that related this story to us from the assistant commissioner of the fire brigade, I think it was, the utterance that came out, I don't say anything else, it's not bad utterance, Ray, but I question it. We will be getting a replacement fire truck soon. I don't hear nothing about no investigation or plan to investigate. Because it's almost, it sounded almost like when a child broke a toy or breaks a toy, and you say, never mind, we're going to replace it soon. It sounded, it came across that frivolously to me. Now, maybe it's the fault of the persons who write the news. Maybe it's not the fault of the fire brigade or the assistant commissioner at all. But the truth of the matter is that I believe that we need an investigation into this event. I believe we need an investigation into this event. Just look upon the irony of it. The fire station catch a fire and burn down flat. Come on. The last thing that you expect, the last place that you expect to catch a fire is a fire station or the fire truck. So what went wrong? These things don't come cheap. Assistant Commissioner, the replacement don't come cheap. You might have to borrow one from St. James. St. James is lacking a fire truck. I don't need them, never need it. Yeah? Or borrow one from St. Anne, borrow one from somewhere. The fire truck, there are several periods gone by when we're supposed to acquire fire trucks. And the amount of fights we have, the amount of accusation of corruption in the purchase of fire truck, whether it be Renault from Germany or some other fire truck and all that kind of, the amount of struggles that we have to get a fire truck. I don't think it should be so easy that we say a replacement will come soon. I think we also need to hear that there's an investigation into the circumstance. Lest we get another one and it burn up too. Lest we get another one and it burns. There are, I mean, when they're fighting forest fire in the United States, firemen get killed and all sorts of things happen. So we know that things can happen. But we need to investigate. And when we investigate with a view to putting in procedures for prevention, procedures for mitigation. All right? So Assistant Commissioner, Jamaica Fire Brigade, we need to get a little bit some answers in relation to how this occurred with a view to not have it happening again. Did they fight the fire from an angle that they should not have? Did they go into the middle and so were surrounded? Is it that the wind changed and the fire direction changed and it engulfed them? What happened? Come on, give us some explanation so that we can see whether or not it's something that we can prevent in future. May sound reasonable? I hope so. All right, so that is with the fire truck. Let me lift that one there for a little longer. Dr. Chang, Minister of National Security, over the last week chimed in on two things. One, I fully agree with him on, and the other, I'm not even too sure. The first one I'm going to pick up, which is the least of the apostles in these two issues, was, remember I told you about the not one red cent comment by some people out of the diaspora with the $10 million that they were trying to garner to help fight crime, and how they were not going to give the Jamaican government 1 red cent to spend it. Well, Dr. Chang was a little bit more subtle than I, and maybe it requires the subtlety of the minister to deal with that issue. But as I said last week, it was stupid to make such a statement. It was a bad mind statement, and is a statement that should not have been made. All right? The people who are looking for that $10 million to help Jamaica fight crime should have been a bit more diplomatic than that. There's no money that can enter the government coffers without going through the hands of the government. Can't. Might not go into the consolidated funds, but the government of Jamaica, when I say not 1 red cent, is an ignorant comment. Ignorant comment. And really and truly, anybody who made that comment should have apologized, because you hear me talk about disrespect. That was disrespect to the government of Jamaica, as if the government of Jamaica don't have control over the country. As if you can come and buy the police force by your gifts, or by the JDF by your gifts. No go so. You can't give the police force nothing what the Jamaica government no want. You know how many people try to give hospitals a bed and equipment and rate it and find it difficult because it has to go through the red tape. It has to go through the government hands. Now, we would prefer if some of those red tapes are not there. But Jesus and peace, man. You, ex-police or ex-soldier, I come Ghana money to give Jamaica police force. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to say it again. But it was not diplomatic. And I hope that somehow good sense will prevail and you withdraw that comment, whoever made it, withdraw it, and show some respect for your country and your government. Show some respect for your country and your government. Right? You can say your condition of use of your money if the government is willing to accept it, but you can't talk about not 1 red cent. If I was running government, I wouldn't take your money. No care how much you get, I wouldn't take it. If I was running government, because that is a mean-spirited statement, or at least it came off in a mean-spirited manner. So that is that. Dr. Chang now, the other issue that Dr. Chang chimed in on was income. Now, I don't know what I'm to income. I really don't know what I'm to income. But income, you went to the Privy Council to get certain privileges and rights to prosecute cases of police misbehavior. Right? You did all of that. As a matter of fact, I think Terence Williams may have considered leaving Indicom because of issues around this too, even losing that case, because he required certain autonomy that he was never going to get, especially with the Privy Council ruling. And so it is beginning to seem as if Indicom has a gripe against the government that it is supposed to serve, or has a gripe against the police force, which it is supposed to assist in not going against the law. Now, it would seem to me that in this situation, Indicom hear a story, and rather than investigate the story and investigate it properly, them go ahead, run ahead, and make releases before they can back then talk. Now you can't operate like that. Remember now, believe it or not, Indicom is not Jamaica for Justice. That's a voluntary organization. If Indicom is not serving its purpose, the government can disband it. So I don't know if Indicom feel, and bad blood has blood seem to have crept into the genes of Indicom. I don't know. But if Indicom feels that the policeman on the ground can't go against the law, can't do things in contravention of the laws and the rules of policing, Indicom must know that it must hold itself to a higher standard. You can run with hearsay. You can run with parboiled cases. You can run with accusations when you have the tools to investigate, when you should be investigating and come out with a proper conclusion. Even if you're going to come out with interim reports. But this one was too big for Indicom to jump the gun on. No, if you didn't jump the gun, the minister is not too big for you to prove to him, say, yo, something go wrong. What are you telling me? And this is what went wrong. But you have to come out, come say in definite terms what went wrong. We're not running a fry fish shop in the com. We're not running a fry fish shop. And so when we're coming out to speak, even if it goes against the minister, even if it goes against the police force, even if it goes against what any power in the country, the fact of the matter is, fulfill your mandate properly. Fulfill your mandate properly. Because if we continue on the same trend, I am personally saying that you're setting up yourself for the disbanding of that arm of justice, which is supposed to be a good arm, which is supposed to help us, particularly with police members of the police force, not feeling that they can run vigilante, not feeling that they can run afoul of the law to kill people and to abuse people and all of that thing. You have a noble cause, but don't spoil it by being unprofessional. Don't spoil it by you yourself going against the rules. Set yourself a higher standard. And if Dr. Chang is wrong, correct yourself in such a way, giving everybody all due respect, correct yourself in such a way that your point is proven. It can't be that two arms of government are seeming to be in a fight. A fight. Should be no fight when you come out with your investigation and say, look, no man, then shot the man and kill him in a manner that it should not have been done. As opposed to what you see is a man getting away and you mix him up with a man who was shot and killed. All that kind of mix up argument and them kind of thing there. Come on in the come, do better than that. And remember at all times that the minister have a bigger soapbox than you. All right? So that is the two issues with Dr. Chang and what was happening in justice. Justice must be done, but it must be properly executed, properly done. Mutty Perkins, quoting somebody else from a long time ago, would always say, justice must not only be done, but it must be seen, manifestly, seen to be done. Yeah. All right, so we had that Dr. Chang Indicom situation. A fight is steadily developing over the Mobile bypass contract. And remember, you know, this is a community program, community buzz with Ed Wallace, community program. And sometimes you might be wondering what this have to do with your community. But everything that happens in the wider world sometimes have implications for our communities. So bear with me. Bear with me. As I say, when you drop a pebble in a steel pan, the ripples goes out. You don't know where it stop. The ripples go out, sorry. You don't know where it stop. Usually it just go out into the universe. Although you not see it in the water, the ripples are still going out. So this project on the Montego Bay bypass will actually affect the employment of people even from in Trelawney, people from in Jamaica. Because as I understand it, the contention is that the government has bypassed the contracting rules, and in bypassing it, provision was made for casual labor to come from outside of the island with the contractors, and therefore Jamaicans would be disenfranchised in respect to jobs. Not only that, plain and flatly, the accusation is that the procurement rules have been broken. Here's what I've experienced with this Prime Minister in terms of watching him. I have never since 2016 seen more than one time where the Prime Minister run afoul or seem to have ran afoul of the rules. The one time where I disagreed with the approach to a certain situation was with the appointment of Chief Justice Sykes. That's the one time. Every other time that this Prime Minister has been accused of going against the rules, him come up and prove that there is precedence. So now we have a political fight where we're trying to fool the people. And it don't make sense when 2015 is so close. 2015, not there so far. When the procurement rules were changed to accommodate this type of acquisition of service under the People's National Party, and no Prime Minister, Jamaica Labour Party is using it, it becomes a problem. On a top full of people, man. The world on a top full of people. Because there are programs like these, Community Buzz, who are watching. And when we watch it, we're going to tell the people the truth. So if it was wrong in 2015, it's wrong now. And if it was right in 2015, it is right now. Oh, by the way, my understanding of the date is that it's 2015, yeah? That's why I'm using 2015. But let me go a little bit more vague to capture it. If it was wrong, the procurement, when you introduce this bypass procurement rule under the PNP, if it was right then, and you come back and use the same methodology now, the same method now, the same tactics now, it is right now. And if it was wrong then, you need to admit that you were wrong then, so that it is wrong now. And as of now, we don't do it again. So me could not Jamaica people no fool, you know, then go get good explanation, then we see through the thing, you know. Then we see through the thing. So here's where your fight lie now. PNP. Here's really where your fight lie. Your fight really lies in the idea of making sure that Jamaicans are employed to the max on this project. Because the Rasta man who came to my house, stop on my fence side Sunday, has a stake in this, people. You see how the community involved in this now. You see how the community involved. If this project runs correctly, then the Rasta man who stopped to get food, that person who needs an income in Jamaica, in Trelawney, in St. James, in Westmoreland, in Clarendon, in St. Anne, has a stake in this. And the opposition, Her Majesty's opposition now have a right to defend the right of the people to work. If that is the argument, we are good enough. And you can grandstand on that and do anything that you want to do. And at the end of the day, take praise for making sure that millions of Jamaicans were employed on the project. Nothing wrong with that. But when you start play the kind of politics where one rule go for one people, one set of time, and go for the other set, something wrong with that. If it was wrong, if it is wrong now, it was wrong then. And if it was right then, it is absolutely right now. So explain to the Jamaican people, make we understand. PNP, explain. Make we really understand what go down. Because you come out with an accusation, and now, politically speaking, the Prime Minister has hit back, saying it's a bad mind kind of politics you all playing. Is the Prime Minister right or wrong? Make we explain it. Make we talk about it. 876-482-4944, 876-317-1991. Talk about it. Text. And you can do your thing on Facebook too. We're here listening. So that was that. Come down to gravy now, because the crime thing still the power mind. So we have a woman murdered in Clarkstown about 2 weeks ago now, producer. Murdered in Clarkstown by her 72-year-old, as I understand. 62-year-old? So how comes that to 62-year-old? Because there's one further up in Trelawney last week now. You think I mix up the age? All right. But what happened in the... Oh, and there is a case of the man, Mr. Lee, who killed his friend who worked at the hotel. 3 cases of killing. Now, I'm going much like with likes. I'm going to take out Mr. Lee's situation there. The first thing is that the newspaper no one call on him for say for grandson, but keep saying the grandson of a former government junior minister. Go through all that lens. He is the grandson of who he is the grandson of. So why we are going around? Why is the news media going around? Same thing they do with Mr. Horn the other day. Publish him, say in company, avoid paying monies owed to another company. When really a business to business contract, but then want to highlight him as a PNP thief. So then put in name on it as if him and a company is a limited liability. A company is a person in effect. And so company to company dealings no require no name calling. But I believe that it was intended to tarnish. So this young man come now and he get himself involved in a situation where perhaps when justice done, he's going to go to prison. Perhaps. But this is an adult male who there's no need for you draw him grandfather in this or him granduncle. Look how far down the line on the gone. Mr. Manier has been charged with a crime for which he will have to answer. Call his name and deal with it. That's enough. Why you do? Try you, newspaper. I try a tabloid thing that. A Enquirer business that. You tarnish the whole family for the act of one man as if in family in him to do it. Come on, man. Make us do better than that. Let us do better than that. So now, we've done that. Police, Falmouth police in Trelawney intercept a vehicle with 3 men and 2 women and a firearm who they suspect going in the direction of the alleged perpetrator of the act to exact revenge. Now, for me, everything is in giant up, everything is in cursives, and I tell you why. Sometimes you can't establish the connection, but you can dismiss it. It can now be said that the newspaper articles have riled up these people to say, because of Mr. So-and-so son, because of Mr. So-and-so grandson, if he say you have the right to do what you do. And we're not going to get no justice, so make we go take justice for ourselves. We have to be careful. If I can say that in English, can I say that in English? All right. What the newspaper may have done, or papers may have done, by bringing in the genetic antecedents too much, by bringing up the family of this man who allegedly did the shooting, what they have done is to expose that family as a privileged family, implying that maybe this particular incident took place because somebody was privileged, and so privileged that justice will not reach him. So a next set of people decide, say, you know what, before, so then make we go take justice. We have to be careful, we have to be responsible in the media. We have to be, we can cuss people, we can do all kind of things without being irresponsible. Right? And so now 5 persons are under arrest. The motivation and the connection with the newspaper article might not be correct. There might not be any connection between those two. Maybe the people just feel they must take revenge and go attempt to take their revenge. But we have to be careful not to contribute to any such activity. And I think it kind of brings us back again to Mr. Lambert Brown, vigilante justice, jungle justice. You see? We can't operate on jungle justice. We cannot operate on jungle justice. And we must not fan the flames of jungle justice. We have to be careful. Now, the second part of it is appearing to me, I hope me not getting the mix up, but it's appearing to me that 2 women were killed in the past 2 weeks under domestic violence conditions by 2 men who were much older than them. And the women were said to be 13 at the beginning, or thereabout at the beginning of the relationship. If I not lie, the one in Clarkstown was 13. Well, the Loop News one that I saw said 13 somewhere higher up in Trelawney. But if a 1 or 2, it don't make no difference what I'm going to say. The principle is the same. What we've started to do is to conflate child molestation with child molestation umpteen years ago, and I don't say umpteen with the dismissive, I say umpteen with the missing number, perhaps 17 years ago. That's what umpteen means. I'm not being dismissive of child molestation because I want to deal with it properly. Child molestation, child abuse that would have gone ahead 17, 13 years ago, with domestic violence between 2 adult partners. No. You see, when the outcry is coming, dirty man killed the woman Pitney, and where was the mother? No. The incident is taking place 17 years later when both are adults, consenting adults. consenting adults. Now, you can make all sort of arguments between 17 years ago and now in terms of the psychology of the situation and the conditions of the situation and what caused the situation. But the fact of the matter is that we have to deal with child molestation as a separate issue from the murder of this woman or these women here and now. They did not get killed. It cannot be said that they got killed because they were involved in a relationship while they were below the age of consent. The two no really have nothing to do with each other. And so we as a country, again, Ministry of Family and Community, we have to deal with the child molestation issues. One issue that. Ministry of Justice, National Security, and Ministry of Community and Family Affairs going to have to deal with another issue of domestic violence. How we build our families and how we make sure that the individuals involved in family relationships are protected. Anytime we start mix up, as I said earlier on, we have to ask the correct questions to get the correct answers to our problems. If we ask the wrong question, where was the family when the man or woman get involved? The man was getting involved with the child. No really say nothing to know. What we're dealing with is domestic violence and murder. The domino may be there. The dominoes may be there. Shouldn't be in a relationship with this man at 13, and that should have been dealt with. But the horse gone through the gate with that one already. What we need to do is to stop men or women from engaging with underage people, from engaging with children. Because at 13 years old, that's a child. At 13 years old, that's a child. And if men or women are shacking up now, getting into relationship with underage people, children, we must find a way to stop that. That must be stopped. That is not tenable. We should not be doing it. And we should find a way to punish them, to prevent, or to counsel them to prevent, or to take any intervention. Because again, we love punishment. The best thing we know how to do in Jamaica is to punish. I think that comes from our slave background. And then now to take the issue of domestic violence as a separate issue and try to deal with it. I'm here now at 876-482-4944, 876-317-1991. We can talk. We can talk. This domestic violence issue is getting totally out of hand. And something is wrong. Something is wrong. It's not just men wanting to kill women. It's not a hatred of women. There is something that is wrong in our mind. Did you know that up until the 1960s in the United States, there was a prescribed size stick with which a man could use to beat his wife? 1 inch by 1 inch or 1 inch diameter. Did you know that? Did you know that? So, the right for a man to do violence to his wife or to his partner was actually legal at one point in time. Know that it has been made illegal for some people to come out of them system yet. So right now is that the situation has changed drastically, and we have to have a reorientation of that thing. That issue that we're facing, we really have to have a reorientation. And if you begin to simply say prisoning is the alternative. Firstly, prisoning is after the fact, and I keep telling you all that we must become cognizant of the front end treatment, the leading indicators, I call them, indicators that lead up to the occurrence. If we can stop those, then we don't have the occurrence. And that is why I asked from Ministry of Family and Community, specifically geared to the gender biasing not going to work out. The gender biasing is not going to work out in some of the cases that we have. I feel very comfortable with gender bias employment, gender bias pay, gender bias, them kind of things there. But the violence that we're facing now is not a culture where men in Jamaica are against women. And therefore, the solution is for women to be against men. That is not our solution. The narrative must be changed, and we must approach it asking the right questions so that we can get the right answers, so that we can apply the correct treatment to what we're facing. Don't know if you agree with me. Again, 876-482-4944, 876-317-1991. It is sad that whether this one woman or these two women were killed in the way that they were killed. It is sadder yet that if we don't examine the problems properly, more of this is going to happen. Use a Ishikawa diagram to help us solve the problem. That Japanese car maker did well with that diagram. Use it. It can work for it. It has application everywhere. Yeah? And make we try to examine the problem, ask the right questions. The what, the how, the where, the why, the ask all of those questions. Ask it from the environmental perspective, the personal perspective, the generation perspective. Just find out what impinges on this situation such that we have this problem now, and then see if we can find the root cause. And that's what we're looking for, the root cause. We're doing a root cause analysis to find out what we need to do to solve the problem. Again, I explained this already. Go and try it again. When we're doing the root cause analysis, we look at a thing like your car shut down upon the road. And you know, say it happened to me one time. Car shut down and I will pull down, go on, because it shut down upon the road. And when we done pull down, asking the wrong questions, pull down, and for check the car. What happened? The car ran out of gas. Just that the gas gauge wasn't working. Yeah? So the whole car pulled down. Well, what we needed was gas. All right? Now, our battery died in a car. Our car stopped working. We say it's the battery. We buy a new battery, put in the car. That solves the problem. The battery worked for 2 days and dead. You realize, no man, something else wrong. Maybe it was the alternator. So we have to do the root cause analysis before we start apply any treatment so that we can deal with the problem and get it dealt with effectively. That's all I'm saying. So the Ishikawa diagram sounds big, but all it's saying is root cause analysis. Ask why first. Why this pop now? Why are men killing women? And ask the question from different angles. And when we get a good analysis, then we say, now, what can we do to solve the problem? Let's not jump. Let's not skip the step. This laziness with our sociologists in this country need to stop. Sociologists are too lazy. We need to study the problems properly. But everybody is rushing to get to press. Everybody is rushing to be seen. Everybody is rushing to get their 5 minutes of hype in the limelight when the country is going to hell. Let us do the studies properly. For those of us who have degrees, One of the subjects that we had to go through was research methodology. Is that research methodology is such a pure and simple science or scientific approach. Make we get to our roots in our research. Find the phenomenon, identify the phenomenon, do our literature review, do our research properly, collect the data, fix up the data, turn it into information, analyze the data, turn it into information, and then draw some conclusions on which we can act. We got school for them things, you know, and a whole heap of we got school. So stop going like we don't got school. Every problem that we have solutions for it. All we need to do is study it properly and find the proper solutions. And this domestic violence situation and the killing can be researched, properly researched. So make we try it now. Make we try it. On to other issues. Hold the family of the woman or women. Hold them up, hold the families to God so that comfort may come to them. Comfort may come to them. And as they wrestle with their storms, they can see better days in the day to come. Because indeed, their best may not have been good enough, but we cannot discount that they may have tried their best with their families. So make we hold them in our prayers. Make we hold them in our prayers. Oh, I see a man beating video the other day, which is where we're going to, you know. Two women grab a man and decide to beat him because him disrespect again, or that they felt that he threatened them, so they grab him and beat him. That's where we're going. And that's the direction that we exactly don't want to go. What we want to do is to prevent men from doing violence to women, so women don't have to retaliate with violence. That is how we build a society. That is how we build a civil society. That is how we build a civilization. Make we think on these things. We're gonna take a short break in just a minute, but while we're looking for the break, I'm gonna ask again that you participate in and have a conversation with me. Don't make me just preach. Have a conversation. Take the example from Dr. Asha and come and talk to me. 876-482-4944. I will. That's why I'm taking a break.
Are you struggling with loneliness? Feeling depressed? Are you searching for a purpose to live? Are you ready to tap into your inner greatness? Ready to soar to your full potential? Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Join the Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union with locations in Water Square, Falmouth, and Albertown for your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Let us and TCCU teach you how to reach your financial goals. That's your financial tips on Fit FM 96.7. Your life, your music.
Yeah, back with you. We're on the downside of 5. And we still have much to talk about. As I say, sometimes some world events we feel say no have nothing to do with it in our community, but it does, because when they came for the communists, I said nothing. Never bother me, because I was not a communist. When they came for The capitalists, nothing. Because it never bother me. When they came for the black man, it didn't affect me neither, so I never said nothing. Because the man was black. But when they came for me, everybody was gone. There was nobody to say anything for me. Point I'm trying to make now is that what is happening across the world in terms of injustice, it's across the world now. But if we're not careful, it can come to us in our very communities. And so it breaks my heart to see what is happening between Israel and Palestine right now. From one angle, it looks as if what was happening in South Africa with apartheid. And from another angle, it looks like the Israelis need to protect themselves. Now the question is, the Israelis are the stronger of the two. But the Palestinians are committed to driving the Jews into the sea. They are from birth committed to driving the Jews out into the sea. And the Jews are committed not to make them become strong enough to exterminate the Jews in the way that Hitler attempted. Where are we going to strike that balance? Right now, Israel has the upper hand. And from all indications, they intend to keep it. But where does Israel stop in terms of aggressively protecting itself? Can Israel be in a position to protect itself without killing women, children, and babies? Can Israel protect itself without destroying the media and media-related facilities? Can that be done? Can the Palestinians ever begin to see that they need to settle down and stop that argument of killing Jews? Because let me tell you something, Papa. Let me tell you something, Palestinians. There's no way that the Jews, nor I, am going to be in a stronger position than you and whittle down my power to make myself vulnerable so you can drive me into the sea. It's not going to happen. And at the same time, me, a Palestinian, there's no way that I'm going to stop resisting you, the Jew, if you continue to capture my land and to prevent me from forming a government. So in the Middle East, we kind of have a chicken and egg situation, Who went back out first, or else there will be no peace. There will be no peace. There will be no peace. And right now, women and children are dying. And it looks awful. It feels awful to see human beings with stones in hand being shot with missiles. Now I understand that Hamas has something to gain by setting up a war with Israel because they want to show themselves as the protector of the Palestinians as against the Fatah movement. There's another movement in Palestine. And Mr. Netanyahu is in a position of weakness now where he needs to be Prime Minister of Israel. So he's actually pandering, him now hold back, pandering to the extremist Israelis to try to hold him position as Prime Minister. Because so far there has been about 4 elections and he has not been able to form government. I don't know where that is going to go. The only thing that I know, Jamaica, is that injustice breeds injustice. We have to look at our own selves. If you recall, I brought up the idea of the people caught by the police going to seek revenge. Eye for an eye made the whole world blind. But at some point in time, we have to find a way to get justice for all. Let us continue to pray for the people in the Middle East. Because it cannot be a good thing to see people being bombed out of their homes and killed. I know 2 sides are dying, but the mass of the people, the weaker people are dying more. Meaning the Palestinians are dying more than the Israelis. Fit FM would have loved if the UN could have finally find a way to solve this problem. Because from the Camp David Accord, where we went very close with Jimmy Carter, there's who was it? I remember his name in a while. The president of Egypt, Anwar Sadat. We have never come close to that agreement again. Need to find something because the world is in peril. World is in peril. Let us pray for that side of the world. And let us pray also that any segregationist mentality we have in the West, that we tamp it down. Not no racism in America, not no racism in the Caribbean, no sectarian kind of a defense in anywhere this side of the world, because it's not good. We're close to closing time, and so I'm going to go to my where questions, and it's just a simple repeat. God is asking, man, black man, Jamaican man, where are you? Where art thou? Adam, where art thou? Where are you spiritually? Where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? Where are you? I know where you're positioned physically, but where are you in your mind? Where are you in your spirit? As a matter of fact, I know where you are, but do you, man, know where you are? You need to find out where you are so you can make a stance. You make a stance so you don't molest babies. You make a stance. You make a stance so that you don't do all that kind of spiritual nonsense. Man, Adam, where are you? And then the where question is, man, Cain, Jamaican man, where is your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? Yes. Because if I don't be my brother's keeper, then we're going to have trouble. Remember, I tell you the Cain and Abel story in another way. That Cain killed Abel because Abel wouldn't help him goat them. Abel needed to be concerned about his brother's farm. And because he wasn't concerned about his brother's farm and they go and goat them, eat down Cain vegetable them, Cain never have no good gift to give God, Cain begs and kill Abel. Now remember, that's just my story now, you know, not to do with church and you, but just look on it. It's a possibility, not true? Yeah, it's a possibility. So where's your brother? Do you know what your brother is thinking? Do you know what your brother is feeling? Whether Rastaman they were check me yesterday. When they? When I get a thing, will I be able to find him to see if I can help set him straight? If even for one night meal. Where's your brother? Thirdly, man, Abraham, where's your wife? Where's your wife in her head? Where's your wife spiritually? Where's your wife mentally? Where's your wife emotionally? Why is she thinking of giving you a bun? What are you not doing? How can you set the course so that you don't have conflict? Where is he? Where is she in her mind? Have you tried to find out? Or are you just keeping a slave, a servant? Where is your wife? Is she sitting up in her head to do you harm while you sleep tonight? Where is your wife? You beat her so many times. What point she reach now? Or if you treat her good, do you know that you can depend on her to do you good in return? And finally, woman, where is your husband? And over the week, I've been thinking about this question. Christ, I believe, really meant, where is your physical husband? Because he knew that she had known 6 men. But let us take these 6 men and put them in another what should I say, universe. Take them from a different angle. Let those men be personalities of your husband. Where is your husband in terms of, you have 6 different husbands or 4 different husbands, however many. Where is your spiritual husband? Where is your mental husband? Where is your emotional husband? Where is your sexual husband? Where is your guarded husband? And where is your husband, the father of your children? That's 6 husbands, that's true. Where is your husband? Where is your husband? And if we find out and we're able to answer these questions and position ourselves properly, the world will definitely make for a better place. Our Jamaica will make for a better place. And we will do very, very good. I want to thank you for staying with us here on Fit FM 96.7, Your Life, Your Music. You've been with us in the Community Buzz with Ed Wallace, your host, as usual. I hope to be back here with you next Monday. Next Monday is a holiday, but I hope to be back here with you soon where we can talk, or where I can talk to you, and then we'll have conversations like the one that Dr. Asha and I had today. I just want to thank you for staying with us on Facebook, staying with us on the radio apps, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We thank you ever so much. God bless you. God go with you until we talk to each other again. This is yours truly, Ed Wallace, in the Community Buzz on Fit FM.